So I'm Michael Che-Yensu, founder of Jacob West. We are here at the Expo to kind of expose our services to the rest of the world, to make Africa great, because we believe the new Africa already exists. So thank you for having us, and we're looking to do more today and for the rest of the year.
Michael, now you are a developer doing amazing projects in the country, and in your experience and being in Ghana for as long as you've been, you definitely would have seen some sort of errors when it comes to construction in our market. Now, why should people work with trusted developers like yourself? Because I know one thing about the diaspora, everything they see online looks exciting. And you and I know when it comes to real estate in Ghana, I always tell people, don't be moved by property brochures, because sometimes it's just like what you see. What you order may not be what you may get when it's delivered. So Michael, speak to our potential investors when it comes to the real estate market in Ghana and why they must work with trusted developers like yourself.
Well, the construction process is very challenging. We deal with so many different aspects of it in terms of the land, litigation, acquisition process, locations in terms of you're on a hill, on your flat land, wet land. There's so many reasons why developing or building yourself is quite a challenge. So my advice is usually, speak to the specialists in various areas of development. We have the architectural designs, we have the structural engineering, we have the quantity of the builds. I mean, how often do we get our drawings and then we just start building and we don't know how much it's going to cost us, how many years it's going to take? Is it worth us going into, traveling in and out of the country every year? How much does that cost? So there's so many details that go into development that I would advise people to actually leave it alone and let the experts do that side of the process. We're currently building in North Legon, and it's 16 units, and you would never believe the details that goes into it. You have your drawings, you have your structural drawings, and you think, you go ahead, but there's some details missing between the two, and you need to be able to understand every stage of construction. So believe me, it sounds fantastic. I buy my land, I build my dream home, I come home and I live in this fantastic house, but let's look at the reality of it. Many of us do not build in the diaspora. We don't build in the diaspora. We usually go for finance, mortgages, we buy houses. So why suddenly do we come to Ghana when we buy land and we start building? So for me, I'm always against the whole process of buying land and building. I've preached it before, and I don't want to upset anyone today, but I believe you leave it to the experts.
But I want you to talk about three things. Number one, warranty periods, and also what sort of after-purchase documentation is required and what cost comes with it. So example, people buy properties and then when they are done, they think that's all, they are done paying. But there are other costs they may have to bear for them to actually own the property.
Prior to that, let's look at how you can acquire the property. We have cultural differences. We have people that buy in cash in Ghana. And when you're living outside, you're used to credit facilities. Now, I truly believe there's a missing gap between the two, and we need to bridge that gap. The mortgage companies are quite quiet here in terms of the products and services that we have in the mortgage field. In the UK, some years ago, we had a product called the Mortgage Brain. And the Mortgage Brain gives you an idea of what you qualify to obtain a mortgage to purchase. And I think in Ghana, we have one side where people are looking to pay with cash, and the other side, people are looking for mortgages. And I think if the mortgage companies can bridge that gap by having a product that is short-term, 5 years, get you on a property ladder, that would help people to acquire properties. Now, to get to some of your questions, you have a construction warranty, the integrity of the building, your foundations, your roof, etc. Now, usually you're looking for a 10-year period for that. Then you have a separate warranty for the goods, and that's kind of carried on from the way you've purchased the goods. So if you buy a Sony TV or washing machine, there's a warranty that covers you for a certain period. So that's forwarded on to the purchaser. So these are the kind of things you need to look out for. When you complete construction or handover, there is a snagging period. And that snagging period gives the buyer an idea to say to the developer, there's an issue with my flow of water. There's an issue with dampness. There's an issue with, and within that period, the developer within the year has to repair those snags. So these are the kind of things we should look out for. But I do strongly believe that we need to kind of fix the purchasing process. That will help the market accelerate, and it will help us to move the middle market to the higher market. So there's a lot for us to do in terms of that before we can actually think of how people are actually buying in Ghana.
I wanted to ask how we kind of like are aware of smart buildings or green building. Is that something that is happening in Ghana?
Actually, these are the things that we consider in our builds. We have smart options as add-on options on our builds. Smart, making it easy for people to, automate automations in terms of your audio, your lighting systems, EV charge points. These are add-ons. You see, the market's not fully developed in that area, so we allow people to add on these services when we're building at an early stage. Solar power panels, EV charge points, smart home features. We have systems where we have biodigesters for waste. We have solar. There are a number of things that people are trying to do, but what we have to understand is there's a culture here in Ghana that we need to be careful we don't go fully green until people understand what green means to the environment. And then we need to build ourselves and educate people, talk more about it, advertise it more, and then it would shift and it change, and then people will buy into the ideas of being high-tech and being sustainable.
Jacob West is a developer. We're building communities. We're bringing people back home from the diaspora, servicing Ghanaians that live in Ghana and parts of Africa. And we believe the new Africa already exists.